Hello, second grade. Welcome to Science with Miss Conley. This is our second week of remote learning in science. Today we're going to learn more about caterpillars. We're going to talk about caterpillars and other organisms and what they need in order to stay alive. What is an organism? An organism is something that is living, so it's usually a plant or an animal. In fact, we are organisms. Here are our vocabulary words. I'm going to say the word, you repeat after me. Organism, thrive, survive, habitat, shelter, reproduce, nutrients. There's a lot of words here that we haven't talked about in science. I just talked about organisms. Thrive, that means to grow or develop. Survive, that means that you're living and you're an organism. Habitat, that's a home of a plant or an animal. Shelter, this is what we use for protection. Reproduce, that means an organism is creating another organism like themselves. Nutrients, that's just a fancy word for food. Here are some questions that I want you to think about during our lesson. How do you know if something is alive? What do caterpillars eat? How are caterpillars and people the same, and how are they different? What is a living thing? What is a non-living thing? I know that people are living, but how do I know they're living? I know that a book isn't living, but how do I know it's not living? Go ahead and pause this video and think about some things that you know are living and some things that you know are not living. Now that you've had a chance to think about it, let's watch this video that explains what a living thing is and what a non-living thing is.
Let's learn the difference between living and non-living things. How do we know if something is living? Living things can move, grow, breathe, reproduce, and require nutrients like food and water. Let's look at an example of a living thing. Does a bear move? Yes. Does a bear grow? Yes. Does a bear need nutrients like food and water? Yes. Does a bear breathe? Yes. Does a bear reproduce? Yes. So is a bear living or non-living? That's right, it's living. So how do we know if something is non-living? Non-living things can't move. Non-living things don't grow. Non-living things don't need nutrients. Non-living things don't breathe. Non-living things don't reproduce. Let's look at an example of a non-living thing. Does a microphone move? No. Does a microphone grow? No. Does a microphone need nutrients? No. Does a microphone breathe? No. Does a microphone reproduce? No. So is a microphone living or non-living? That's right. It's non-living. Let's try some more examples together. How about a flower? Does a flower move? Yes. Does a flower grow? Yes. Does a flower need nutrients? Yes. Does a flower breathe or need oxygen? Yes. Does a flower reproduce? Yes. So is a flower living or non-living? That's right. It's living. Does a table move? No. Does a table grow? No. Does a table need nutrients? No. Does a table breathe? No. Does a table reproduce? No. So is a table living or non-living? That's right. It's non-living. Let's try one more together. How about you? Can you move? Yes. Do you grow? Yes. Do you need nutrients like food and water? Yes. Do you breathe? Yes. As humans, are we able to reproduce? Yes. So are you living or non-living? That's right. You're living. Awesome job. Remember,
Now that you've had a chance to take a look at the video, you should be able to come up with a list of things that are living and things that are not living or non-living. Let's answer our question. Remember, if it is a living thing, you can move, reproduce, grow, you need nutrients or food, and you can breathe. If you are non-living, you're pretty much the opposite of living. You do not move, you do not reproduce, you do not grow, you do not need nutrients, and you do not breathe. So let's take a look at my picture here. Here's Miss Conley at a desk answering the phone and doing paperwork. Miss Conley is a living thing. I can move, I can reproduce, I'm growing, I do need food or nutrients, and I can breathe. You might say, well, Miss Conley, you're not growing, you're not getting taller. No, but my hair grows, my fingernails grows, so I am still growing in different parts of my body. Now, if I look at this picture and I look at this desk, that is not living. It does not move, it does not reproduce, it cannot grow, it does not need nutrients, and it does not breathe. Let's think for a moment. How are caterpillars and people the same, and how are they different? Go ahead and pause this video and think about that. How are we the same as caterpillars, and how are we different? We're going to show how we know that by using a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is used to compare, which means things are the same, and contrast, things that are different. Let's take a look at this Venn diagram. The things that only go in this circle are what only people have. The things that go in this circle are what only caterpillars have or do. And the middle section is what they both do. I'm going to model one for you, and your assignment will then be to do your own Venn diagram. So for example, what do only people have? I will click on this box and you will see that you can type. And I will say, people have nails. We'll say fingernails. That means caterpillars do not have nails. Do caterpillars have nails? No. So that means that only people have fingernails. So I'm just going to take this and drag it over here. What do both people and caterpillars have? Oh, I know. Both have eyes. I'm going to take my sort and I'm going to drag it in the middle because that's what they both have. What do only caterpillars have? Caterpillars have many legs. They have way more than 2, that's for sure. So I'm going to take this and drag it here. Now that I've modeled the Venn diagram, you're going to complete your own. Your assignment will be to complete the Venn diagram. You're going to tell me something that only people have, something that only caterpillars have or do, and something that they both can do. And that concludes your assignment for science.